the saying, who's initiating the contact. Look, if you're going to throw your body into somebody else, we're not giving you a foul. But if someone comes and hits you, yeah, we'll give you the foul.
The Edge in the gold and black come back to their more traditional uniforms after the Denver Nuggets style jerseys last night, those special commemorative jerseys. And steal by the Edge early, Junior Cadogan. And to Watson. Watson working against Campbell. Kicks it out to Ward, and Ward with a good start. Yes. He said you needed to get him going early. That's a great look there.
Yeah, that's a great sign.
Ward gets it out to Cadogan, quickly up the floor. Richardson back to Cadogan. Lloyd was on him. Little handoff up top to Cadogan. Now it gets the switch. Down the right, double team comes off down to Edwards rather, off the leg of Edwards and goes out of bounds. Ball goes over to the Storm. Point attempt a little long. This is Edwards, and uncontested to the basket goes Mike Edwards. A quick start for the Edge. And a block. Edwards rejects it. Feel the energy in the building that wasn't here during the first few minutes of last night's game. The Edge are feeding off that right now. Campbell brings it up the floor for the Storm. Step back from outside, a little strong. Both Edwards and Watson were there. Watson's got a little spin move. Down in the corner, three-point attempt off the rim. Lloyd will settle it down here for the Storm. 2 minutes in, still looking for their first basket of the game. Robinson. Haslem. Long baby hook, doesn't go. Offensive rebound. Couple of attempts. And Price gets the first two for the Storm.
Yeah, Ward just mistimed his jump there and got caught on the floor when the ball was still coming down.
Richardson. Watson gets the offensive rebound. Edwards, mid-range jump shot. Edge have cooled off a little bit from their quick start. Just the last few attempts. Edwards with yet another rebound. Cadogan, Edwards slipped that screen, got inside. Cadogan took it to the basket. A little too strong off the glass and then picks up the foul.
Yeah, I still like that as a sign, though. Again, he didn't try to push his penetration to the rim enough yesterday, so it's good to see him get all the way there. Even though he misses and gets a foul, it's still a better sign, I think, long-term for his game.
That's one of the things you talked about during last night's game is Cadogan taking that ball to the basket, getting in a little deeper, being a little more aggressive. Settled for a lot of jump shots last night. Lloyd outside, watched by Cadogan. He'll shoot it. Cadogan may have got just a little piece of it. Rims out. Haslem will lay it in. Watson directing traffic. Handoff to Cadogan. The back up top to Edwards. Ball is deflected out. It'll stay with the Edge.
Yeah, they faked the handoff there, and Watson tried to spin off it and get to the rim, but Campbell was just able to get a hand in there and flick it out.
Ward, quick release. Front rims it. Rebound, long one, comes out to Cadogan. He'll reset. New shot clock. Foul up top by Price.
They went with that was more of a matchup of necessity, but for a while last night they went with that matchup, Price guarding Cadogan, in order to get some size and physicality on him. And I just said that, again, I like to see Cadogan attack Price's feet, get to the rim, draw the foul. Those are the types of things he needs to do.
Cadogan cut off that time, kicks it out to Ward, over to Watson. Watson given room, he'll shoot it! They let him have that one. He said, thank you very much. into Haslem. Haslem with a little hook shot. That one a little bit closer than his last attempt. 2-point lead for the Edge. Ward will shoot it. Stays hot. Carrington Ward with another three. Really pushing the ball down to Haslem. He's going to draw the foul.
Yeah,
on Edwards.
On the last one, too, Edwards puts two arms into him. Again, you're allowed that 1 point of contact, an arm or a leg. You're generally not allowed two. I'm a little surprised they left Edwards all alone in the post there. Haslem has that nice little hook. He has some moves he can make. I would, come off of Price's man. He's not really a threat to shoot. There's some things you can do there defensively to give your post some help.
And the Edge made a substitution. Edwards gone out, and Monte Brandon has come in. I suspect he'll be the one guarding Haslem down low now. In the meantime, there's a foul against the Edge. Robinson will go to the line to shoot two. Can't get the second one, but
yeah, that was a
rebound by Haslem.
It was a weak effort by Tyrone Watson, who just didn't put a body. I think he expected the free throw to be made, and he allowed Haslem to walk right in and get the rebound and the score.
Watson drives it in, kicks it out. Cadogan doesn't shoot it, working against Price. Gets Price turned around. Can't get it to drop. Lloyd against Richardson. Throws up a wild left-hand shot. Can't get it to go. Watson quickly up the floor for the Edge to Cadogan. Cadogan will kick it out. Boom, another one for Ward. He's hot early. Robinson, quick response. That one's a two.
Again, the problem with the response is that Robinson takes the dribble and comes inside, costs himself a point. Like, if he takes that dribble and gets his feet set and stays outside of three, it's a good shot. Otherwise, it's not a good shot, even when it goes in.
Cadogan still can't get one. I always said the worst place to shoot the basketball from was standing on the three-point line or maybe a foot or two inside. Same degree of difficulty as a three-point shot, but not the same reward.
Yeah, and that extra point means a lot. Like these pro games, you saw it last night, it comes down to 2-3 points here or there. So every time you cost yourself a point, it's costly in the end result.
Should mention throughout the first half, we're going to be showing some highlight videos of Carol English. Well, when we get our first time out. It is Carol English Day here at Mile 1. Watson, mid-range jump shot. Makes good on that. 3-point lead for the Edge.
Tyrone's not known as a shooter, so it's good for him to come out and hit a couple early. It'll force the defense to come guard him and set up his penetration game.
Brandon got the rebound. Boy, was he good on the boards last night for the Edge. And we get our first time out. Let's take a look at a video featuring Carol English from his childhood years. Amazing number of setbacks throughout his career and how he overcame them all. It's told sort of through the milieu of basketball, but it's really a story of perseverance, and the things he did as a young kid to play basketball are just unbelievable. I certainly recommend the book to everybody. I don't mind promoting it.
Karan Williams takes a shot. He's making his first appearance here. He had a great second half last night for the Edge.
Yeah, he played point guard the entire fourth quarter. As you mentioned, Cadogan stayed out, but Williams made a big difference late in the game for the Edge. As you say, making his first appearance here. And this is Karan Williams. Ward Down to Watson. Back up top to Brandon. And off to Williams. Shot clock winding down to 5. Rolls off the rim, comes out. Lloyd quickly up for the Storm. Takes it to the basket. Last touched by the Storm. It'll be edge ball.
Lloyd is just questioning. He felt he got hipped a little bit there on the take to the net. There was some contact, but they chose not to call it.
Inbounded the ball, but Robbie Robinson was tying up his shoe, so the official gave him an opportunity to get the lace down on him.
Nice.
Williams to Kane Broom. Broom made a difference last night, but he made 3 threes in quick succession to get the edge back in it after they were down by 12. Cut that lead in half, or cut it down to about a 3-point lead. Reach in foul against the edge.
Yeah, and I think if you're a Storm fan, this is the first good sign you've had is Lillard being really aggressive. I thought that he just kind of floated through the game yesterday and really didn't look. He hit a 3 here or there, but I felt like he had some opportunities to have an impact on the game, and he really didn't take them. So seeing him come in here and try and you know, he's got to the rim for a layup a couple possessions ago. He gets to the rim here for a foul. I think that's a good sign.
Good on the first. 2-point game. Look at Steve Marcus, head coach of the Edge. Looking a little anxious over there. His team got off to a great start, but things have settled down a little bit after the first 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, they didn't. They had a chance to kind of blow the doors open right off the top, but they couldn't keep making shots. The Storm kind of put the clamps on defensively and just held it at 5-0 for about 2 minutes there.
Watson takes it inside, lays it off, and laid in by Ahmed Thomas. Lloyd. Lloyd will shoot it from outside. No dice. Brandon, another rebound. And sets the screen. Broom knocks it down from deep, and he had a hand up in his face as well. Edge up by 6. Campbell picked up by Broom. Campbell takes it to the basket, rolls off. Watson up to Broom. Broom a little behind the back, left hand. That one goes.
I'm getting the sense this might not be the Ireland Storm's day. Their shots just roll around and fall out. Edge shots are rolling around and falling in.
This one back rim. Nice
Thomas.
Rebound by Thomas. Broom thought about it. Into Brandon. Juggled it, but still wide open layup. There'll be another timeout. You gotta love that bleached blonde hair that Carl had out in Hawaii. He's gonna live in Hawaii. Why not?
Yeah.
Go with the blonde look. Dean Kulu gets double teamed out to Lillard. Lillard brings it in. Shot from the corner, or from the elbow rather, Jonathan Lloyd.
Yeah, some really nice ball movement, some good patience there from the Storm. You'd like to see more possessions like that from them.
Broom, the left-hander, up top, Karan Williams. Big screen there. Brandon trying to roll off that screen and go to the basket, got held. So a foul against Dean Kulu. Brandon hands it off to Thomas, over to Williams. Williams picked up by Dean Kulu. They get switch. Much bigger. Brandon against Boyd, gets the double team and then kicks it out to the streaking Thomas, who lays it up.
Yeah, that offside movement, you love to see that guy who's sort of 45 away from the ball make that dive through the key. Track the defense, either get yourself open or someone else.
Edge got a little mixed up on their defense that time, left wide open three, but again, they couldn't make it. He said it's just not the Storm's day, at least not right now. Broom against good defense again with a hand in his face. That's two he's made like that. And it is a 13-point lead for the St. John's Edge. Crossover. Fool Thomas, and Thomas reached in and we get called for the foul.
Yeah, it's not a bad foul. It's only on 5. You're not in bonus. It's not a bad time to take one when you've been beaten like that, rather than exposing the defense to rotation and maybe an open 3.
Only 6.2 to go here in the first quarter. It has been a good one for the St. John's Edge. Long 3. That one goes right at the buzzer. Alex Campbell cuts it to a 10-point lead. Good opening quarter for the Edge.
Yeah, the Edge played well
over the place, and also playing for Team Canada. Has always answered the call when Canada wanted to put together a team to play internationally. His career eventually brought him home to St. John's and the Edge. We've got another video to come up. Throwdown by Ward. Let's talk about that a little bit too. That'll get the crowd going.
Yeah, and again, that's the kind of physicality that we want to see from him at the rim.
As mentioned, we will take one more look at another Carl English video when we get a chance of his time with the Edge. Before the half is over. A reminder, stay with us. Halftime is all the tributes to Carl English and the raising of his jersey to the rafters here at Mile 1. We'll bring you all that live on our webcast. Brandon, offensive foul. Let's take a look at that dunk by Carrington Ward.
You'll see him, he just reads it well from the weak side, gets right up and throws it down.
And nobody picked him up at all coming in from the weak side.
No, they were really concerned with Brandon. That was, you got to be concerned with Brandon. He's one of the leading rebounders in the league. And I think they brought 2 to kind of make sure they sandwiched and kept him off the glass. That left Ward wide open.
Yeah, Brandon picks up another foul, an illegal screen. So he's going to take his seat. Tyrone Watson will replace him. Landon. It's a little bump screen. Drops it off. Again, it won't go for Haslem.
Yeah, Thomas has lost control of the ball, trying to push it up the floor.
So the ball goes over to the Storm. Edge lead it by 10. So we're early in the second quarter. And then hands it off to Campbell. Little screen and roll. Can't get it to go. Haslem is all over the rim, but can't get the ball to drop.
Yeah, but they're making, you can see the Storm are making a bit of an effort right now to pound the ball inside to Haslem, feeling that without Ashley there, they have a bit of an advantage inside. Edwards played a little early, has sat down since. Now Brandon's out. Watson's more than capable physically, but he does give away height.
That's how the Storm started this game. First 2 or 3 possessions all went down to Haslem in the low post. She you say, they've gone back to it now, especially with Brandon on the bench.
Yeah, and I think that, their perimeter players struggle to make shots, and I think this is an effort maybe to try and collapse the defense and get their perimeter players a little more room to deal.
It's 1 of 2, and Watson, falling out of bounds, throws it off Robinson, so it'll stay with the edge. Junior Cadogan. Again, Price picks him up. Price, lots of hands all over Cadogan. Ward. Thomas back up to Broom. Broom with the long three. That one doesn't go. A little further out that time. Robinson working against Thomas. Landon will reset. It's a screen from Haslem. 3-point attempt. Back rims it. Loose ball taken by Broom. Broom was all the way to the basket. No foul. Was looking for the whistle. Didn't get it. Robinson back the other way. Tipped in. Offensive rebound.
And he got lucky there. It was a bit of, rather than just sort of pull up and shoot the ball, he took a bit of an awkward knee out kind of runner. But luckily, he was able to get a hand on the ball and tip it back in.
Cadogan. Screen from Watson. And Haslem on him. Back to Watson. Watson steps back. Back to Cadogan. They tried to throw it inside. That was picked off, and out comes Robinson. He'll lay it in and try to get a timeout
we're
by
looking
the
at
edge.
A little bit of a flip from last night where they, it's the Storm who are making the comeback and playing with maybe a little bit more energy.
So, I mean, Carl has meant so much to Newfoundland, Labrador, St. John's, our league, basketball in Canada, so this is deserving for him.
All right, you're going to do a little color commentary for us.
Let's do it.
We got the boss here. He knows what he's doing.
We're going to do it. Let's see here. We've got
Cadogan up top. Picked up by Price. Screen set by Watson. Cadogan, a little step back. Junior Cadogan really can't get going this weekend.
Yeah, he played well last week, in terms of just his ability to score and put pressure on opposing teams. Ooh. Oh, call foul there.
We're going to get a foul call on Price. So what's your earliest memories of Carl English? Here in Newfoundland, we've known about him a long time. When did you first become aware of him?
I actually going back to when he came out of Hawaii and was looking to get drafted. He held a draft party, NBA draft party, with hopes of getting his number called. And unfortunately, that did happen.
Yeah, that was a rough night.
But I'll tell you what stood out for me was just his perseverance to keep on going, right? And that's synonymous with Carl. So it's no surprise.
Now, I was talking with Doug Partridge earlier in the webcast and talking about Carl's book.
Yeah.
And said, it's partly about basketball, but it's more about, and you used the word perseverance, all the roadblocks that were put in his way, and he just kept going.
Absolutely. I mean, Carl, we talk about Carl English in terms of him being an inspiration to and it's not just a basketball, as you said. It's not just about learn how to shoot a better jump shot or how to make the NBA. It's much bigger than that.
Yeah, you read that book and you learn how to deal with problems in your life in a lot of ways. You can use his experiences because he went through some very tough times. As most of us are aware, losing his parents at a very young age, and the whole draft issue, and then even before that, when he went to St. Thomas Aquinas to play basketball, the teachers went on strike. He never got to play.
Right.
It was just one thing after another, but the man just kept going.
Yeah, he did. Kind of like Kane Bruin there, just kept going off that steal.
There we go. Turn around.
Carrington Ward keeps going, off the missed shot. I mean, this is how basketball on the edge of this little streak they've been on. This is how they've been playing, and it's been great to see.
Now the Storm have cut it to a 3-point lead. There's a block.
There we go, Mike Edwards.
Edwards getting up there.
Not in my house, he says. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Carl has just been phenomenal. From an inspirational standpoint, I was down at the Edge locker room just before the game, and there he is giving motivation to the current team, and make himself available. I mean, and those are the sorts of things that Carl is known for.
And you can tell there's a lot of love for Carl English just by the number of people here at mile 1 today.
Absolutely. Again, deservedly so.
All right, we've got a 5-point game here between the Edge and the Storm.
After a bit of a slow start there. Yeah, by the Storm, they're still battling back.
The opposite of last night's game when the Storm jumped out to a couple of big leads and the Edge came back, and that's going to make it even closer. Now just a 2-point game. They throw up the 3. Cadogan, a lot of contact as he went to the basket. Looks at the official, no call. Landon waits for Lloyd to get across the half-court line.
Nice.
He'll drop it in and thrown down.
Jailan Haslem. Nice find by Lloyd there, find a big man and roll into the basket.
They've been working Haslem down in the low post a lot in this game. That time he really got free and threw it down. We are tied. Edwards.
Okay, a little spin move.
Little two-step there, I think. He may have gotten away with one. Cadogan finally gets one to go, and he looks over at the bench just to say, okay, I got one. And now I'm good.
And what set that up? That little ball fake froze the defender and opened up a lane for him.
He has had trouble shooting the ball this weekend. So who's in charge of doing the schedule, Ollie? Is that your fault that the Edge are playing four games in 5 days?
Schedule, I don't know what you're talking about. The schedule making process, it's an intricate one because you're balancing team travel, building availability, all sorts of different factors, and we certainly want to have a schedule that works for everyone, and sometimes there are some stretches where it's not going to be ideal, but thankfully that's what everyone's going through, so it's an even field.
Yeah, it is a current tough one for the Edge, but they're hanging in there.
We wouldn't know by the production today.
They're playing well, and the great comeback last night, they showed some energy.
Yeah.
Steve Marcus saying, push it. Wants them to go. Broom, no fear there, shoots it. Haslem was in behind everybody, drops it off. Foul on Watson as Nathaniel Wright goes into the fans down along the baseline.
Says hello, gets up and close and personal.
Fixes the signs himself.
There you go.
Little housekeeping.
There you go. He's a polite guy. Good upbringing.
I've had a chance, you mentioned that, I've had a chance to talk to a number of the guys in the league as I've done a few games over the last few years.
Yep.
Occasionally you run into guys after the game, and that every player I've ever talked to has been so polite, so respectful. It's been amazing. And last night I was talking to Cam Broom for a while, or Kane Broom rather, and same thing, sir, and please and thank you. And the guys have been great. The guys all throughout this league.
Absolutely phenomenal, and one of the things we're proud of because they take that into the community, and really our players represent our league out when they're not on the playing court. So I'm really, really proud of that. The guys out there just focused and professional.
Yeah. And I guess all teams like the Edge get involved in the community. I know the Edge players are out in the schools and various community groups helping out.
There you go. A little hustle on the floor there.
Watson bullying his way in. Will it go? What are they going to call?
Great move by Tyler Watson. Offers a flex action after the made basket. Pumps his fist. Feeling good.
Yeah, he'll go for one. Let's take another look at that one, aren't we?
Sure. Yeah, no, for sure. There you go.
Here we go.
Yeah, optimist shot.
Ward scrambling comes up with it.
There you go. And Ty says, let's go. Up and under. And flex. Love it.
Stormer come back. They've got a 2-point lead.
Okay.
Step back by Robinson from the corner, way off the
Kind
mark.
of a rush shot there.
That was a tough one. Kick it out. Williams makes it and was fouled. Chance for the 4-point play.
That will get people out of the first half. Here, there's a big halftime ceremony happening there, taking place.
A lot happening at halftime. I'm going to raise Carroll's jersey to the rafters here. There's going to be a few speeches from people connected with Carroll's career. And we'll hear from Carroll himself. Wonderful. Has a little dribble handoff to Lloyd. Picked up by Williams. Lloyd, shimmy, shake, shot. Oh, that's a beauty.
I tell you, he had his...
That was pretty.
Froze his defender on that one. Froze the defender.
This guy doesn't take any time off. 46 minutes he played last night.
Wow.
Jonathan Lloyd.
And back the next day for more.
Doesn't like to sit. Ward. Let's see, they're going to discuss who touched it. Officials will get together, as they should. Yep. Storm ball.
Here we go. I like that. I like, you want to get it right. You're asking officials to make calls on the fly, and nothing wrong with checking in to see what your partner saw.
Absolutely. Communicate, get it right. Watson swatted that away. Lloyd got in amongst the trees.
That he did.
Long three from Williams, down underneath. We've got a foul against the Storm as Watson hits the deck.
There we go. Little Jonathan Lloyd took down Ty Watson there. Gotta love his heart and hustle. He's got a football background, so there you go. That explains a little bit of it.
Well, Lloyd said, okay, you blocked me down one end. I'm going to knock you down when we come back the other end. You may be a lot bigger than me, but I'm going to have mine.
A knock for a block. Lovely. A great crowd. Really, the league was just really, really impressed with the turnout, especially today of all days. And certainly it's a special day, but man, it's wonderful to see. It really, really is.
So what other duties have you got here today in an official capacity as the game moves on?
In official capacity, we actually, the league is presenting Carl with a plaque as well of appreciation and thanks for spending time not only with the Edge but within our league and helping to raise and elevate the profile of NBL Canada. He's done all sorts of remarkable things. First came to win the league MVP, winning the MVP, 58 points in the game. So, lots to celebrate.
Cadogan, back to Williams, ball faked. Lloyd stopped and looked at the referee. Edge couldn't get it to go. Storm up by 1, 3 minutes to go here in the half. Campbell's
been quiet.
He had a pretty good game last night. Hasn't done a whole lot yet here today. It's a nice drive by Lillard.
Made it happen. Forced it in. Went straight to the bucket.
He was quiet last night. Seems to be a little more aggressive going to the basket here today. Looking for his shot. Offensive foul on the moving screen. Foul against Watson. Referee emphatic with that one. Bring it up the floor quickly. Campbell. Guarded by Ward. Swing it down the corner. Lillard.
He's feeling it. He's feeling it.
Looking for a shot. Makes it.
Absolutely.
Biggest lead of the game for the Storm. Up by 6.
There we go. And I think with the Storm team, they keep battling. Much like the Edge, they just keep on battling. Regardless of deficit.
Yeah, they came down to the wire last night. This looks like it could be a similar situation here today. Little hook by Watson doesn't go. Ward going up for the rebound gets fouled. Oddly, thanks so much.
This has been fun.
For joining us. I appreciate it.
George, thank you. This has been
your insight.
Fun.
We're good.
We are looking forward to halftime show again. It's a special day here for the league. City of St. John's, and for Carl English to watch his jersey be hung up in the rafters.
Okay, thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you again.
All right. Get Doug Partridge back in here now.
Watch the game passing by. Today, I think, the coach probably had a chat with him and said, look, we need you to be more of a factor out there. But if you're being guarded by a smaller guy, we need you to take the ball to the rim. If they back off you, we need you to shoot it. And you can see the difference that he's providing here tonight.
All right, so it's Carrington Ward to the line, made the first. Edge down by 5, make it 4. 2 minutes to go to halftime. Lloyd. Dribble hand off to Lillard. Thought about it. Back to Lloyd. Lloyd driving it inside. Steps back. Tough shot. That one didn't go as he front rimmed it out to Cadogan. Cadogan going to try to go coast to coast, knocked away by Wright, who will stay with the edge. Watson, errant pass just held by Williams. Watson fakes the shot, drives it in, little spin off the glass. Same move he made a few minutes ago when he got the and one.
Yeah, he's very, very tough going to his right hand. You got to get him off his right hand to have any chance.
Haslem down in the low post, they'll isolate him against Watson. Well, we've seen that exact play half a dozen times in this game. Again, Haslem couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, it's a little tougher now because Lillard's playing well. Wright is not a bad player. It's a little tougher to figure out where you're going to bring some help from.
Cadogan now has Haslem on him. He'll step back, step in, fire it, gets it to go. Junior Cadogan finding his stroke a little bit here in the second quarter. Thomas
now this is
ran over Jonathan Lloyd at half court.
This is interesting because in the NBA now they're calling those fouls offensive because Lloyd stops and maneuvers into the defender's path. So it's not the defender's fault that he runs up his back. It's Lloyd's fault. So they still, in FIBA, they're still kind of calling that a defensive foul. But in the NBA now, that's an offensive foul if you stop in front of a defender like that.
Not sure what Tim Kendrick, Storm coach, is all upset about over there. Hands on his head, yelling at the referee.
He was really hot at the last time out to his players, had to drag him away from the officials.
Well, he's still giving it to the official over there on the sideline. All right, last shot of the half here. The Edge will hold it, down by 2. Look to tie this one up going into the break. Cadogan takes it out. Well, maybe try and take the lead. Ward, yes! Right at the buzzer, and a big three-point shot.
Yeah, that was a great play by Williams, who's had a couple looks and haven't.
And it will be Storm ball to start this second half. They trail the Edge by 1 after an emotional halftime. Tribute to Carol English. We are back to playing basketball at mile 1. Turn around along the baseline, a little strong. Ward will grab that. Gives it to Cadogan.
They went to Haslem right away, but he settled a little too quickly for a jump shot.
Cadogan split the defense, kicked it out to Watson. Come back to Cadogan. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Dumps it inside. Edwards off the glass, can't get it to go. Ward with the rebound and the putback. Ward making his own shots, making his own points, getting on the boards. They didn't run the play for him, but went and got it. Quickly up the floor, Watson. Edwards again misses the layup.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's got to, he's got to be more physical. I've been really happy with Ward tonight, showing some physicality around the rim, getting the ball off the boards, that big dunk that he had. Edwards has to show more physicality.
Lloyd along the baseline. He's going to get called for traveling.
Now that's something that Edwards has done well tonight. He's blocked 2 shots. He's used his body to seal off the key. It was great help that time on Lloyd. Like he has done his help responsibilities, his controlling the key on defense has been very good. Offensively, he just has to be a more physical finisher.
Another missed layup by the Edge. Watson tried to go coast to coast. Price drops it off, and another block right on cue by Edwards. Ball will stay with the Storm.
It looked very much like Watson threw the ball off of Haslem, but they're going to say it went off of Watson's knee.
Great block by Edwards. Lloyd. Campbell Ball away from the baseline, up top. Took the three-pointer. That went up and hit the shot clock. So ball out of bounds to the edge. Get that same matchup again. Price on Cadogan. Cadogan's going to try and take him right to the hole. He does. Draws the foul and one.
Yeah, I very much like the matchup of Price on Cadogan because it kind of nullifies a lot of the physical advantages that Cadogan has, but I don't like it over the full court. I think you're asking too much of your big guy to guard him over 94 feet. I think it's better when they kind of do it in the quarter court.
Yeah, I think Cadogan looked at him, so you're going to pick me up three-quarter court here or full court. I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to beat you to the basket.
Yeah.
Can't get the free throw to go. Lloyd, and he gets it. It'll be a block called against Edwards, and now Lloyd will go to the line to try and make the three-point play.
It's unfortunate for Edwards because he didn't really do anything to move into the defender, but we discussed this last night, if you have a foot in the restraining circle and that sort of half smile they have out there, the foul is yours if there's contact.
Lloyd does make his free throw. 2-point game, Edge up by score 58-56. Again, Price picks up Cadogan early. Cadogan drives it in, gets the double, kicks it out, comes back to him. Ward gets it to go. Ward's been shooting the ball extremely well here this afternoon. And it gets a block. Up to Richardson. Back to Cadogan. Good looking shot. Just got a little bit of the front rim and bounced out. Foul has been called over on the far sideline. Robinson and Cadogan collided. Foul will go against Cadogan rather. Pass across for Campbell, last touched by Richardson. Tough pass that time. Boy, Lloyd, that ball traveled a long distance.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a flare cut by Campbell. He came off the screen. Richardson went over it, and he kind of flared, but he didn't look like he was ready for the ball.
Rebound by Edwards. This time it'll be Watson to bring it up the floor. Fake the handoff, took it around the corner, gets fouled. Inbound for the Edge. Watson to Edwards. Cadogan, he'll try the three. Yes! Gets a little high five from Coach Steve Marcus. Cadogan much more involved in the offense today than he was last night. Haslem gets that one to drop.
Yeah, he was very patient inside, was Haslem, with his fakes and his footwork to get to a good place to shoot it.
6-point lead for the home side. Richardson back to Cadogan. Robinson's got him now. Shot clock down to 3. Cadogan takes it in. Can't get it to go. Rebound, Robinson. Makes a move at half court and gets grabbed by Richardson. .806 to go in the third quarter. Monte Branning comes back into the game for the Edge, replacing Mike Edwards. Robinson will take him right away. And coming over Ward, he'll get called for the foul. Looked like a pretty good block.
Yeah, I think even regardless of the call, even if it's a foul, whatever, you just really enjoy seeing Carrington Ward being that engaged in the game in terms of how he's playing tonight.
Let's take another look at that and see what we think on a second look.
See him come across. The defense of the official I will make is that from the angle we're looking at, we can't see whether there's arm-to-arm contact there. It's impossible. And if there was, then it is a foul.
So are you running for Premier next with that kind of nice political answer? It's going to be a ground roots campaign starting now. Doug Partridge for Premier. Ward continues to shoot well. He's having a great offensive game. I should say a great game. He's been good defensively as well.
Yeah, and he's been solid on the boards. He's just done a lot of good things here.
Another foul against the edge. Be an inbound situation for the Storm. Campbell. Lloyd. Jumped in. That's a good no call right there.
Yeah.
Ward just held his ground. Lloyd tried to jump into him, taking the shot to draw the foul. Referee didn't bite, and the Edge come back and make a layup. Now up by 7. Timeout.
For the stretch run, get ready for the playoffs, and what comes next?
After today, it'll be the halfway point of the season. This is the 18th game for the Edge. 10-7 after an 0-4 start. So 10-3 since then. They've been very, very good. Haslem has it knocked away. Robinson comes up with the loose ball. Picks up the garbage and delivers. Ward. Robinson playing him tight. Hands it off to Richardson. Out to Cadogan. Price with that length prevents the shot from Cadogan. Now Cadogan will take him to the basket. Uses his body, and right at the end of the shot clock. Beautiful basket.
Yeah, he's so good at that, and that was what was missing last night, was that willingness to go all the way to the rim.
We are seeing a different junior Cadogan, and going down, grabbing his left ankle.
That's not a good sign. Ward tried to step in and block that shot, and he landed on a player's foot when he came down. Looks like he'll be all right.
You don't like to see a player go down and grab that ankle so quickly.
Well, especially a guy who's having as good a game as Carrington Ward.
Still limping. He's going to try and walk it off.
Yeah.
I think he may have even gotten a piece of that shot and went off his fingertips and into the basket. He was right there. Watson. It's a screen from Brandon. Richardson. Tough pass down around his ankles. Managed to come up with it. Go down to Brandon. Wild looking shot. Goes out. It will stay with the Edge.
Lloyd went headlong into the camera person there on the baseline.
Everybody seems to be okay. Edge will keep the ball. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Watson goes high to catch that pass along the sideline. Back to Cadogan. Whips it over to Watson. Watson for 3. Tyrone Watson likes that one. Lead up to 8. Lillard from deep. Comes up a little short. Rebound rattles around. Storm come up with it. Robinson throws it down, but there's going to be an offensive foul.
Yeah, it's going to be no bucket. Haslem unnecessarily stepped in and wiped out Cadogan.
Nothing better than when you're mopping or sweeping or vacuuming and someone comes behind you and says you missed that spot. It's always appreciated. Broom from the corner. Ooh, a little strong on that one.
Much the same as yesterday. Yesterday, again, it was the edge that needed to be careful. Here, it's the Storm. The Storm really needs to stay in contact with the edge. If they kind of come apart here and let the edge get too big of a lead, I don't think they have the firepower to crawl back. So they really need to try and keep this around that 10-point mark. Want to go into the third quarter no further behind, or the fourth quarter, sorry, no further behind, certainly than you are now if you want a shot at winning this game.
Dangerous part of the game right now for the Storm, down by 10. Good defense that time by Cadogan, stripped the ball away, and then it was kicked by Lloyd. So the ball goes to the edge. Lead is in double digits. Broom can't shoot it. Gets the screen from Brandon. 4 seconds to go on the shot clock. Long attempt by Williams, doesn't go, but an offensive rebound taken by the edge, and Broom wanted a foul call there. Lillard will take it in and throw down the two-hander.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact when Broom went into the key there.
Ron Williams into the game before that last play. He replaced Junior Cadogan. Brandon. Hand off to Broom. And sets the screen. They get the switch. Broom will shoot it from outside. Again comes up short. Fighting for the rebound, Monte Brandon, but over the back of the Storm player. He'll get called for the foul.
Yeah, he's not happy, but it was a foul.
Down to 3:55 to go. We've got a Storm player down on the floor. It's Robbie Robinson.
A lot of movement in the edges early offense, but it all seems to stagnate after that initial kind of through the baseline movement. The ball goes back to the guard, and it just seems to stagnate at the end, and they don't get anything. They either need a crisper movement at the beginning, or they need a late clock pick and roll or handoff motion to kind of get you into one last thing.
Lloyd picks it up in the front court. Robinson down to Lillard. Good defense that time by the edge. That was a tough shot by Lillard. Had hands in his face all over the place.
When Lillard makes that big step into the middle of the key, he needs to get more knee bend, get up underneath the shot, get it up in the air a little bit more. He leaves it short.
Thomas.
Ooh, just got whacked in the head.
Yeah, a little clothesline there as he faked the shot. And Watson had the ball explode on him and get away.
Yeah, it's getting a little scrappy here right now. It might need to be a tightening of the whistle for the next couple of minutes just to make sure that no one gets upset.
Lloyd with Broom guarding him. Hand off to Robinson. Robinson trying to turn the corner against Watson. Steps back, front rims it, and Monte Brandon with the rebound.
Yeah, and that's the sort of settle for shots that you'd like to see the Storm avoid.
Williams off the side of the rim. Lillard steps inside, a little crossover. He'll draw the foul and go to the line.
Yeah, and again, it's the aggression that he showed in the first half and what was missing yesterday. That willingness to keep working, to keep probing, try and get right to the rim, get into a place where you can get fouled.
8-point lead right now for the St. John's Edge. Antoine Lillard will shoot two. Try and cut into that edge lead. Good on the first attempt. Makes it a 6-point game. Under 3 to play here in the third. Robinson gambled a little bit. Brandon couldn't get the layup to go. Scrambly play. Ball picked up by Campbell. Kicks it out to Wright. Wright with the three-pointer. Off the back rim. Rebound. Ahmad Thomas. Drops it off. This time Brandon gets it to go.
Yeah, Thomas saw Brandon on the backside. He just dragged the defense over to the other side of the floor and then dropped it off to him.
Campbell responds quickly for the Storm.
Campbell is another guy that's been more aggressive about getting to the rim. He's still taking a few questionable pull-ups, but much more aggressive about trying to get to the rim tonight.
Jonathan Lloyd, Storm called for the foul. To the final 2 minutes, so you can finish this quarter out. Edge headed to double digits. It's a 6-point lead now.
Lloyd will sit down for the first time tonight.
There's a headline.
I think this is a good time because he'll get 2 minutes plus the break between quarters, so it's a good time to let him get fresh for the stretch run.
That's what he had last night, 2 minutes off. That was it. Watson tried the three, blocked by Robinson. Watson's got it, throws it off of Robinson, but Robinson caught it and gets it up the floor to Lillard. Layup was missed by Lewis, but following up on it, Robinson slams it home.
And again, this game just continues to be the mirror image of last night's game with the Storm closing the gap here tonight.
Thomas, lots of room, can't get it to go. Williams rather got a hand on it, and then it's saved by Brandon. Down in the corner, Broom, yes! Wasn't pretty, but it was effective.
Yeah. I think the Storm just needed to pick that ball. The coach is telling them just pick up the ball when it's loose like that on the floor. Don't try and dribble it. Just pick it up, look ahead, see what you have. Nice play.
Steal by Watson, but can't catch up to it as it goes out of bounds. Stepped in there, read that play. Seven-point game. Lillard. Williams has him. Give it up. Campbell from outside. Another rebound by Brandon. Broom. No conscience. Fired that one up. Didn't come close that time. Sometimes you're feeling good. You try stuff you wouldn't normally.
Yeah, and again, with Broom, you don't mind his taking a few of those shots a game because he'll hit a few. But he is better when he's in control and making decisions and creating for other people as well. He did that last night. He did that a bit in the first half. Second half, he's been a little trigger happy. I think he needs to get back to kind of what can I make happen here, whether it's for myself or for someone else.
And then when it came back down the floor, Broom thought he was fouled, turned to the referee to say something, and that led to that drive to the basket by the Storm.
Yeah, you got to stay engaged in the game. Again, you see it a lot in the pro game, or not a lot. You see it sometimes in the pro game, but if you're trying to win a championship, you can't take plays off to complain to officials. You have to stay in the battle.
Last shot of the quarter. It'll be a three, and they get it. Ron Williams. So the Edge got a last-second three at the end of the half. They get a last-second three at the end of the third, and they lead it by 8. 12 minutes to go. 81-73. Thomas with the ball for St. John's. Monte Brandon. It's a screen from Watson. Back to Broom. Watson sets another screen. Tipped away by Marcus Lewis of the Storm. Shot clock down to just 9 seconds.
That's going to be back over.
Backcourt violation. Good defense that time by the Storm. They really didn't give the Edge anywhere to get that inbounds in.
No,
and then a tough pass.
Yeah, Thomas wasn't really focused. I think he was thinking of it. He thought he was fouled on the play before, and I just think he didn't have his concentration there in terms of inbounding the ball.
Robinson. Three-pointer cuts it to 5-point lead. Brandon Williams. Watson will take it himself in against Robinson. Tries the reverse, draws a foul. And Tyrone Watson will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, and you like the design of that play because it's the angle at which Williams is coming for the handoff, moving toward the right. If the defense jumps or Williams shows the back door, the defense goes for the back door to give a little help off of Watson, and that sets up Watson going to his right hand, which is a strong hand getting to the rim.
First one halfway down, came back out again. Second one finds the mark. Lead is 6. In front of a very big crowd here at Mile One. Lillard. Haslem. Pass was there, just didn't handle it well. Went off his knee and out of bounds.
Yeah, I think Haslem took his eyes off to see if he could dunk. Ball skipped out of bounds while he was trying to judge everything.
Yeah, making his move before he caught the ball. Boom. High screen from Brandon. Step out on him. Dump it down to Brandon. Nice pass and lay-in by Ahmad Thomas on the reverse.
And that's a couple of times Thomas has done a really good job cutting off the ball when it goes into the post.
Lillard forced out high by Broom. Thomas comes in to help, and Thomas steals it. Thomas drives to the basket, draws the foul on Lillard.
Yeah, Thomas has some long arms. He has an incredible reach on him there, and you can see it there when the ball kind of moved away from him. The dribbler loses sight of him. He's able to sneak in from behind and use that long reach to tip the ball away and create a turnover.
Jonathan Lloyd back into the game.
Really, that's good. Lloyd got 2 minutes of game time on either side of the quarter break, so he probably got about 10 minutes of real time to catch his breath. And they didn't lose anything on the scoreboard over that time when he took his break.
Again, the Edge just make 1 of 2 on the free throws. Up by 9. Lloyd with the ball. Broom's guarding him. Haslem came over to set the screen. It really wasn't set. The Edge able to steal it and lay it in. Campbell driving right. Knocked away. It'll stay with the Storm. Lloyd will trigger the inbound. threw it away. Karan Williams. Down the corner, Ward for three. Things beginning to pick up for the home side. We've got a timeout called by the Storm. Edge now. You can't argue with math.
Yeah.
Math is what it is.
I just remember the Celtics, Antoine Walker, in his day, they asked him why he took so many threes. He said, because there's no force.
It'll duck down. Drop off to Robinson. He'll go up and throw it down.
Yeah, Ward's got to step in front of Robinson there and cut off his path to the rim before the pass is thrown.
Nice play coming out of the timeout, though. Set play. Coaches, whoops. Thomas saying, okay, who's going where on this one, guys? Williams goes down into the corner, off the rim. Rebound taken by the Storm. Robinson, a hole there by Broom. Will be ball out of bounds on the sideline. The Edge looked out of sorts on that last offensive possession.
Yeah, I think Karan Williams' thought process, they know he's playing him tough for that handoff, so he just kind of tried to hesitate for a minute, then flash the back door, and when the defender jumped to it, then pop out and be open for the three. But you're right, it kind of took the timing of the playoff. I don't think the passer was ready for what he did.
A nice reverse layup along the baseline by Jonathan Lloyd, smallest player on the court. And we go the other way, and Kane Brook, baseline reverse. Lloyd back up top. Lillard fakes the shot, takes it inside. Nice drive by Antoine Lillard.
Of course, the Storm can't afford to trade buckets. They need to start collecting some stops.
Ward, Thomas, Broom, thought about it. And to Williams. Williams drives it in. A little one-handed floater gets it to go. Right down the lane. Into Haslem they go. Pass was a little low. Recovers it. Robinson rolls off the rim. Ward collects the rebound. Broom gets it to go. 15-point lead. Brandon with the steal off the rebound. Looked like the Storm were going to come up with it. Brandon just wanted it more. Be a hell ball.
And Lloyd is sort of saying he was touching that, Broom was touching that bounds line, but I think the whistle blew just before he got in contact with the end line.
Yeah, at the end of it, Broom was sitting on the end line. And on the hell ball, it'll go over to the Storm.
Yeah, and the Storm are in a tough spot now. I mean, in order to win this game, 7.5 to go, down 15, you pretty much got to get a number of stops and a number of scores in a row. You got to kind of take control of the game right at this moment. If it gets another minute or two like this, it's going to be difficult.
Lloyd, step back, off the rim, rebound. Again, Monte Brandon.
Again,
he wants it more than anybody else.
Yes,
and then he'll get rewarded as he runs the floor and they get him the ball.
Yeah.
And he gets back the other way.
Yeah, and again, the Storm just kind of shooting themselves in the foot with the shot selection, a lot of pull-up jump shots in the mid-range, and, you know, not really coming back and guarding the way you have to guard. As the Edge will take the timeout here.
Yeah, they didn't do a good job of getting back on defense on that last play, but what a...
It is one, solving the shot selection. They're losing the shot selection battle, it seems like, on a nightly basis. They've got to solve that. They got to, you know, Campbell's been more aggressive, but Lillard's been more aggressive getting to the rim. They need all their players to have that mentality every game. And then they need some depth. They clearly need some guys off the bench that can provide a little offense.
Brandon left all alone under the basket. Blew the layup. Great pass by Cadogan. Lillard for three. Missed one down one end. It comes back to bite you the other.
Yeah, and that's a big shot. Again, it's a good start. Now the Storm need to string together a number of stops in a row here, trying to edge back. There's still enough time. They just got to get back in this game and string together stops.
We'll give and go. Thomas kicks it out. Broom. And Cadogan doesn't shoot it. Runs over Lloyd, and foul will go against Cadogan.
That one was a little up in the air. It was debatable as to which way it would go. I wasn't sure Lloyd really had a good position on the floor, but he sold it well.
Taking a look at the big picture for this game, if the Edge can hang on to win this one, they would go up 6 games on the Storm for that second playoff spot. And with only 18 games left, they'd be in great shape to give themselves a playoff spot come the postseason. Up by 6, 18 to go. If you only play 500 after that, you're in good shape. The other team would essentially have to run the table. I can't see the Storm doing that.
No.
So an important 5.5 minutes left to go.
Storm have hit back-to-back threes, so we'll see what they generate here.
Go inside, right, off the glass, a little strong rebound, misses. Looked like a fairly easy putback, but couldn't get it to go, but they'll maintain possession.
Yeah, but again, you like last 3 possessions, 2 threes and the shot in the restricted area, so you're in the right places, getting the right shots.
Robinson muscling in against Wright, and we get a little wedgy.
Yeah, it was a little ambitious of Robinson, I think, for him to think he was going to outmuscle Tyrone Watson.
So the previous hell ball went to the Storm. This one goes to the edge. Ball sticks between the basket and the backboard, the rim and the backboard. It's the same as a jump ball. Lloyd got underneath Cadogan that time.
Yeah. Tried to saddle him up, it looked like there. So
yeah, kind of backed into him as he was going up in the air.
Yeah.
Lloyd doesn't like the call, but I think it was the right one.
Yeah.
Not that anybody asked me.
I don't think you can have Lloyd on Cadogan here. I don't think that's a good matchup choice. I think you need to switch him over onto Broom.
Well, they go right back to Cadogan. I think it's double team. Lillard comes over to help out. Shot clock running out. Cadogan had to fire it up. The Storm are getting some stops. Robinson, mid-range jumper.
They've cut the lead in half, so with 4:30 to go, there's a lot of time left.
Well, we've got a game now, just 7 points. That's on the handoff to Cadogan. Ward is back in the game, and Ward will shoot it. This one well short. Lloyd, all kinds of time, hesitates, fires, and yeah, we do have a game. 4 points now. Crowd getting a little anxious here at mile 1.
Yeah, mile 1, the Edge needs a good possession here. They need to get a clear vision and a nice move.
Broom gets inside, can't make the layup, but he will go to the line.
Yeah,
the Edge having trouble scoring right now.
And I think it's still, at the end of the day, they're still a relatively young team, and they haven't played together for a long time. So I think that's why they they'll have a few minutes where they play great offensive basketball, the ball sings around the court, they get buckets, and then they'll go in droughts like they're in now, where they just can't find the focus in terms of who they want to have the ball where.
Can't make the first free throw either. Team Broom missed the first one and gets the second. Edge look to extend their defense and drop off. Lillard faked the shot, kicks it out. Tough looking shot, but Campbell gets it to go, and it is down to just a 2-point game from a 15-point game just a couple of minutes ago. Edge were feeling fairly comfortable at about the 8-minute mark.
Yeah, it really looked like the game was kind of almost over. But you know, you really have to credit the Storm for coming out of that last time out 15 points down, but 6.5, 7 minutes left. And those back-to-back threes with a stop in between, they were huge. They really sort of shifted the focus here.
Nathaniel Wright got called for the foul for the Storm. Broom guarded by Wright. Broom trying to drive baseline, has it knocked away, comes to Cadogan. Cadogan drives in. He can't get it to go. A lot of one-on-one by the Edge in the last few minutes. Lillard, one fake, drops it off.
Oh!
Robinson throws it down with authority.
That was nasty. That was a filthy play.
And that ties it up. Tim Kendrick wanted a foul there as Lloyd was bumped. Came about 5 feet out onto the court. Edge finally get a field goal. It's been a while. Lillard, jab step, steps back, short. Rebound taken by Robinson. Swings it here near side. Wright will pop it up. Wright gets it to go.
They have the lead. Wow, this has been a stunning 5 minutes of play. And we're in for another great finish like the one we had last night, back and forth.
An amazing turnaround the last few minutes, and the Storm, as you say, have taken a 1-point lead. Cadogan to Broom, he'll dump it down to Watson. Watson being really bodied in there by Alex Campbell, and finally the whistle goes and Campbell gets called for the foul. He was really leaning into Tyrone Watson as Watson was trying to back him down.
Yeah, Watson is just so strong. It's a tough matchup for them. They don't really have that big wing that can kind of help handle him down in the block.
Cadogan gets the screen from Watson, and they get the switch. Watson drives around. Robinson puts it up, and will go to the line for one. Big bucket there by the captain, Junior Cadogan. Canadian, played his university ball in Marquette. Front rim, back rim, through the rim. Now the Edge back up by 2. Minute and a half to go. Robinson, handoff to Lillard. Watson's got him. And there'll be a foul on Watson.
Yeah, but the good news for the Edge, they got lots of fouls to give. They're not in any danger here in terms of the bonus. So
no, just their 3rd foul here in the 4th quarter.
They can be physical here on defense.
Campbell. Cadogan really stepped up on Lillard to prevent the handoff there. Long 3 comes up short. Watson had to go off his fingertips. Lloyd jumps into Watson. Watson just held his ground. That try for the alley-oop for Ward. That hit the back or the bottom of the backboard as he tried to go up. Surrounded in there. Finally, it goes out of play. Wild sequence.
Yeah, Lloyd, I think, felt like he was fouled, but he the guy was inside the restricted area, but he had lost the ball before the contact, and that's why there wasn't a whistle. The ball had already popped out of his hand.
Go here in the 4th, Edge up by 2.
So it's going to be, the Edge need a good possession here. They want to get a score. It's going to be interesting to see whether they try and isolate Cadogan or whether they run something for Ward.
Well, they had their timeout to set what they wanted. physical battle
They're
down
gonna
on the block.
They're going to go isolation to Watson instead. He'll wrap it around.
Good pass to Monte Brandon. 2-possession game.
And you simply can't let Watson spin back to his right hand.
Unlucky for Lillard. Lloyd threw up a wild layup attempt.
Yeah, and that'll basically, there's only 9 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Even if the Edge don't score, they're in control of the game.
Cadogan, that gets the rise from the crowd. Foul by the Edge. 12.2. And the Storm letting Cadogan dribble around, letting time run off the clock.
Yeah, I think they're thinking at the time that they can get a stop and a bucket, but time has really gone against you here.
English Day, it's been an incredible weekend.
It's been a pleasure to do the games with you as well. It's a real joy.
Oh, thank you, Doug. I'll take that. Appreciate all your help.
Yeah, it's a little, again, when you need 2 buckets, and any way around it, you need 2 scores. I don't know if you have the time to run a handoff into it. Like, to run that kind of movement, I think you might need a little bit more time on the clock.
It's going to take something interesting for the Storm to get back in this one. Lloyd and the Edge, mentioned earlier, they've got those fouls to give. And that comes in play there as they take the foul, stop the play, move it to the sideline again. 4 seconds went off the clock.
Yeah, and this is, they're just wearing you out. At this point in time, if you're the Island Storm, the last possession you had to be looking for a 3 right away. If it goes down and you foul, you have a chance to tie the game and send it over time with the final possession. They're taking too long, and there's not going to be any time left after they score and get the foul.
Lloyd, long 3.
And here it is. You got to get that foul right away.
You got to get it inbounds. They don't get now they do with 1.4 seconds.
But you're still in not a bad spot. Like 1.4 is plenty of time to get a 3-point shot. So even if they make both these free throws. Now the interesting thing, if you're the Edge, you're kind of thinking we're ahead. They can't get it. If I miss the second free throw with 1.4 left, what are the chances of them hitting a 94-foot heave? So I think you might see the free throw shooter. The only thing you have to be sure of is that you get a piece of the rim, so it's not a violation.
So intentionally miss the second one if you get the first.
Yeah. Well, even if you don't get the first.
Miss
miss the second. Because what you don't want is to make the second one and give them a timeout. They get to advance the ball and run a play in the front court. If this was the NBA, it doesn't matter because they can call a timeout even off the rebound. But in FIBA, you can't call a timeout off the rebound.
Yeah, it's got to be a dead ball.
Yeah. So
whistle.
If you're thinking, then you're missing this shot.
Okay, well, he made the first one. Let's see. Up by 2. Only 1.4.
Yeah, you just want to chunk this one off the front rim.
Get in there for the rebound, maybe rattle it around, get a few hands in there. Nope, he's going to try and make it.
See, and they had no timeouts left, so I guess he knew they had no timeouts left.
And that was the factor we missed.
Yeah.
Now he's got to chuck it. Well, it's going to be close. It doesn't go. That was interesting, Doug.
Yeah, I still would prefer my shooter to chunk that second free throw even with no timeouts.